Okay, hey, what's up, guys? I wanted to do a random live stream on Friday night. Hope you all are well. There's nothing to watch tonight. Do me a favor if you guys are here live, make sure to like the video. It really helps grow the channel. If this is the first time watching one of my videos, make sure you subscribe. If you're watching the replay of this, make sure to like the video as well. If you guys want to support the channel, you can now join as a member and get access to a bunch of custom emojis. It's a great way to support the channel for only a couple bucks. You can also buy a t-shirt, all that good stuff. The links are all below. Follow me on Twitter, all that good stuff. What's going on, Torin Brown? What's going on, Duda Swag Boy? What's going on, Adam Zizelman? Hope you all are doing well. Whatever you guys want to talk about tonight, we can talk about Darren Till versus Derek Brunson tomorrow for UFC Vegas 36. We had some fight announcements. We got Charles Oliveira versus Dustin Poirier at UFC 269. We got Rafael Fiziev versus Brad Riddell was announced. All that good stuff. Plus anything else you guys can come up with that you guys want to discuss. We can obviously always discuss it on here. Thoughts on Alex Pereira signing with the UFC? He's the first guy to ever KO Izzy. Might be a big threat to him if they rematch. Alex Perez is a beast. Watch some of his highlights. Well, I've seen that KO before of him KOing Izzy, but supposedly, and I got to watch the video. Apparently, Izzy was winning that fight up until he got KO'd. That's what I saw online. I don't know if that's true or not. I'll have to check it out. But I don't really have too many thoughts. I feel like there's a lot of guys who come into the UFC, they beat a UFC star or a high-ranked UFC guy very early on in their career, and they get a lot of hype for it. I remember Joe Duffy coming into the UFC. Everybody said, he beat Conor McGregor back in the day. What can he do in the UFC? And he ended up really doing nothing in the UFC. I remember he got the break speed off of him by Dustin Poirier a while back. I think back in like 2015, 2016, something like that. Then he went on a 3-fight or 2 more fight losing skid, something like that. And then eventually was retired or cut from the UFC. Just because these guys get a win very early in a certain guy's career, it doesn't mean a whole lot. It just doesn't. It's one of those things where it's very odd because, how long ago were those fights, honestly? And those were kickboxing matches. I think it's definitely interesting, and if he's as good as you say he is, which I'll have to check him out some more, I think it's definitely interesting. What is he going to fight at middleweight, or is he going to fight at welterweight? Where is he going to fight at? There's a lot of questions there. I'm interested to see what he does, and I'm always happy to see the UFC signing new talent. As long as it ain't CM Punk, I am very happy to see new talent coming into the UFC. Sometimes I feel like there's not enough of it. There's a lot. I feel like they bring in a lot of guys who aren't ready, who may or may not, be the skill level that belongs in the UFC. But that's kind of became diluted over the years, where UFC is almost like its own feeder league. But we'll see. We'll see what happens. I'm very excited to see the new talent in the UFC. I'm always happy to get new fighters. So I hope he goes on a run, and maybe we'll get to see that rematch. Let's see what else. Miesha Tate's back. Let's go. Who is Miesha Tate fighting again? I forgot. I remember they announced it, but who is she fighting? I forgot that quick. I know they just recently announced it. Oh yeah, Ketlin Vieira. Yep, October 16th. Yeah, I think Miesha Tate's one more win away from a title shot. Honestly, I mean the history's there with Amanda Nunes. Amanda Nunes took the belt off of Miesha Tate. So we could potentially see that rematch. And Miesha Tate's a big name in the women's bantamweight division, which has no names right now. There's nobody in the UFC bantamweight division that really has any notoriety. Maybe Holly Holm. So I just feel like Miesha Tate gets one more good win, and I think she's fighting Amanda Nunes for the 135-pound belt. So she's in a really good spot, especially after being off for so many years. Okay, let's see what's going on, guys. Torin, you beat me to it. I was fitting to say that. What's going on, Indigo? Let's go Dustin versus Charles. Remember we were talking about this? Yes, on the live stream from like 2 weeks ago, I said that I thought that would be the main event for UFC 269. I went through every champion in the UFC, and I told you guys who was available, who was not available, and then at the end I picked out 2 fights that I thought would be on UFC 269. the main event was Dustin Poirier versus Charles Oliveira, and I predicted that before there was any news articles about that, so nobody can take that one away from me. But it is crazy. We were just talking about that. I'm so excited for that fight. That even though I'm picking Charles Oliveira so far, I may change my mind. I always tell you guys that as more information and we get closer to a fight and weight cuts and all that type of stuff, I tend to have the thoughts I may change my mind on some of the fights. But right now I'm picking Charles Oliveira, but that is as close to a 50-50 fight as you can get. I mean, that's real. That really is a toss-up. I mean, Charles Oliveira is so well-rounded, so skilled on the ground. Dustin Poirier is so tough, has such great stamina. And when he hurts a guy, he really swarms them. And that's what I really love about Dustin because, and somebody commented this on one of my recent video, and they said, if Dustin hurts Charles, he's done for. And they're right. If he hurts Charles Oliveira, it's not going to be like Michael Chandler, where he has a chance to recover. Dustin Poirier, if he realizes you're hurt, he does not stop until that referee pulls him out of there, which I absolutely love about Dustin Poirier. I mean, he did it against Dan Hooker. He didn't get him out of there, but he did it against Dan Hooker. He did it against Conor in the second fight. He's shown this ability. He did it against Justin Gaethje in their fight. If Dustin Poirier hurts you, he then rushes forward, throws nasty combination after combination, and he tries to get you out of there. Whether he's successful or not, he's successful a lot of the times. I mean, look at the Max Holloway fight. He out-Hollowayed Holloway. He swarmed him. He pressured him. He threw nasty combinations. And he to beat Max Holloway like that and the way he did was super impressive to me. That's one of his best wins. I can't wait for that fight. I really don't care about Derek Brunson versus Darren Till. I think it's an important middleweight fight. I care about it. But I guess everyone's entitled to their own opinion. I get where you're coming from a little bit. My guess is you probably think Darren Till's a little bit overhyped. Derek Brunson's a gatekeeper. But I think it's an interesting fight and it's relevant to the middleweight division. And Torrin Brown, I will be honest. If I do not like a fight, if I think a fight's a piece of shit, I will tell you so. And this one I enjoy, and I enjoy the stylistic matchup of can Derek Brunson take him down, hold him down, and beat him up versus can Darren Till stay on the outside, strike with him, and eventually put him away on the feet or win a decision. Hey, what's going on, Big Rocker Johnson? Hope you're doing well. Dustin P didn't beat the brakes off Duffy. Duffy had his moments too. He was busting up Dustin. Joey, don't forget. It was so long ago, man, but he beat him up pretty badly. I remember that. I don't remember what happened in between there. What do you got against CM Punk? Nothing, but he didn't belong in the UFC. I'm waiting on them to give Tony Ferguson a fight soon. Joey, you heard it here first. Blonde Brunson will be at least top 3. I got Brunson 4th or 5th round TKO. I don't know. Brunson doesn't have the best stamina. But I think I predicted Brunson by 3rd round TKO. I don't remember exactly what I predicted. But thanks for your prediction. I'm always curious. Everyone put their prediction. If you have a prediction for tomorrow's fight, leave it in the chat. I'm curious what everyone has. CM Punk, the GOAT versus Arden Love. Which GOAT got Chael Sonnen? None of them. Luke versus Sean. Who wins? I'm going Luke Rockhold in that one. I think Luke Rockhold beats him. I think he's overall the better striker, probably. I think he's got great top game, and he can resort to the wrestling if he needs to. And his jiu-jitsu is amazing. Luke, okay, I already answered that. Would Sean O'Malley versus Brian Kelleher be good for UFC 269? I think it makes perfect sense. Sean O'Malley doesn't want to fight ranked guys. Brian Kelleher said, I'm not ranked. I would have preferred to see O'Malley versus someone a little bit more highly ranked, but it doesn't look like that's going to happen. Ally Quinta versus Bobby Green. Who wins? I don't know, man. I don't know that. That one's a tough fight to pick because Ally Quinta is very inconsistent, and so is Bobby Green. So it all depends. Which of the versions of each other shows up. Because Bobby Green sometimes looks like a world beater, but other times he does not. And by the way, guys, do not forget to like the stream. You got to help grow the channel. I greatly appreciate it. Go like the stream right now if you haven't already. And we can talk about plenty more stuff, but just do me that favor. Click the thumbs up button. I really do appreciate it. Let me pull up something really quick. And guys, also, you've heard me say this before. If you have any friends that love MMA, make sure to send them my channel and tell them to go subscribe, but only if they're going to watch the videos. If they're not going to watch, don't tell them to go subscribe. I need people who are going to watch the videos. But always suggest the channel to people. Shane Burgos versus. By the way, if I have to give you a pick for Ally Quinta versus Bobby Green, I'll probably go Bobby Green. Sometimes he looks like a world beater. Other times he looks terrible. So, but I'll go Bobby Green right now just to give you an answer to that question. Shane Burgos versus Billy Quarantino. Who wins? That's a tough one. Shane Burgos is super tough. Billy Q has looked really good. I'll probably go Shane Burgos. But Joey, I'm kind of sad. This means Adesanya won't fight this year. Yeah, originally apparently they were trying to schedule him for UFC 268. It didn't happen, but it does suck, man. I hate to wait out for that long. Adesanya fought in June. I think Whitaker also fought in April or May. I think it was May, maybe. I think he fought in May or April. So it's going to be a long time in between fights for both those guys. And Adesanya likes to stay active. So it really is disappointing. Hopefully they fight maybe early January or something like that. Rose versus Whaley, who wins? You got a lot of good ones for this one, Adam. I'll probably go Rose, but I may change my mind. My initial prediction for that fight was Whaley, but we've seen what happened in that one. I've always been a big Rose believer, but after that KO, it's hard to pick against Rose. But I did pick against her in the first fight at UFC 261. Tiger the Finest, thanks for joining the live stream. First time I'm seeing your name. Appreciate you. Did you see Tony tease to move to 170? I did. And if you haven't been following the channel, I'll tell you this now. I have been campaigning for Tony Ferguson versus Nate Diaz at 170. That's the fight that I want to see, and I think that's the fight that makes the most sense. Whether it will happen or not is up in the air. But I think he could fight February because Francis Ngannou is in January, right? Francis versus Ngannou is not official for January. There's been some speculations by Ngannou's coach, but I think that could happen. I really do think that could happen in January. So we'll see. Maybe they'll stack that card, put 2 title fights on there. O'Malley doesn't want to rank opponents. That's why no one will remember his name. Eventually, and I've learned this, and I'm a guy who, I will even shit on O'Malley myself, but eventually he can only quote-unquote hide for so long. Eventually he'll have to fight top contenders. The UFC is not going to continue to pay him. Eventually he's going to be on a new contract or whatever. They're not going to pay him to fight bums over and over and over again. So eventually he's going to have to take that step up in competition, and we will see him test it. It's just a matter of how long will it take to get Sean O'Malley tested. Tony and Masvidal are ranked in the same in their divisions. I hope that fight doesn't happen. Masvidal will butcher Tony, probably KO him. I wouldn't say that for sure, but I don't really want to see that fight at all. So I was thinking, imagine O'Malley keeps beating up unranked guys and still says he's undefeated. That would be funny, but I knew the UFC can't hide him forever. Agreed, 100%. There's no way he can hide forever. It just is what it is. He'll eventually have to fight someone. Just like Conor. People were talking about Conor for a while. And it's just one of those things where eventually he's going to have to fight someone. And we'll see what he looks like when he's tested against certain opponents. Adam says, best pick for tomorrow. I'm not too big into betting, but my guess is Derek Brunson's a heavy underdog, would be my guess. I would go Derek Brunson. If you're looking for like a lock, I think Tom Aspinall definitely wins. I think he's going to beat Sergey Spivak pretty easily. But who knows? We will see. Do you think UFC 270 will be in Abu Dhabi since Gane and Francis are fighting? They might want to have the France time. I don't know. I think that fight, honestly, I know I said it could be likely to happen in January, but there's a chance if they can get that in France. MMA is now legalized in France, that we could see, we could see something where they delay it and doesn't happen until spring just so they can get it in France. Ginge, thank you so much for the super chat, man. I greatly appreciate it. Every penny of your super chat is going back into the channel. I promise you that. I appreciate it so much. You're a member of the channel. You're donating via super chat. You are a real supporter, Ginge. I really do appreciate it, man. It means a lot. It really does. I'm not just saying that. Thank you so much. I don't know what else to say, but thank you. Thank you so much for the £1. And I know it sounded like I was being sarcastic there, but it all adds up, man. It all adds up. And, I'm eventually going to be full-time on this channel. I don't know how long it's going to take me, but your donations and your memberships are pivotal pivotal to me. Yeah, Tony versus Nate will be fire. Easy win for Tony. I don't know if it's an easy win for Tony, but it's a fun-ass fight. I want to see it go 12 rounds. I predict Conor versus Masvidal will happen in 2022. I think it should happen. I think that would be a big fight. It would make a lot of money for the UFC. I'm surprised it hasn't happened already. I don't think they'll do it upon Conor's return, but it would be a big fight. It won't happen. UFC doesn't want to see Ferguson get a lot of money, so Nate versus Tony is off the table. I don't know. I think it's possible. I think it's the best fight to make, and I think it would get massive fan reaction. I think it would get massive fan reaction, and people would love that fight, and it would garner a lot of interest. Joey, I was thinking D-Rod versus Nate. Oh, dude, why do you want to do that to Nate? Why do you want to do that to Nate, man? That ain't right. D-Rod is huge, and D-Rod, I think, would wreck Nate. MMA fighter by name of Kyle Reyes dead. I did see something about that. That's unfortunate. That's sad. I think he went in for a routine surgery and he ended up having complications and dying. It's terribly sad. I mean, anybody young, really anybody losing their life is sad to me. But especially when you're young, you're going in for a routine surgery and next thing you know, you're dead. That guy has a family. It just sucks all the way around, Did you notice that every time Masvidal calls out Conor that he is silent? If Nate, Conor will respond. Yes, 100%. I saw that. Conor doesn't want those fights. The biggest, so I was a Conor, quote unquote, Conor hater forever. But one of the biggest tells to me was Conor choosing to fight Cowboy Cerrone over Justin Gaethje. That was really what told me that Conor does not have the confidence in himself. He should have took the Gaethje fight. I know you're grateful. You're spot on. They all add up quickly. Yep. Thank you, man. Thank you again. I appreciate you, Ginger. Thoughts on Alex Pereira joining the UFC? I think it's interesting. I talked about it a little bit in the beginning of this chat, but I'm always happy to see the UFC acquiring new talent. But sometimes I feel like the hype is a little bit too much. I mean, I'm sure you remember Joe Duffy coming into UFC. Everyone was talking about it's the last guy to beat Conor McGregor, and everyone was hyping it up. It's cool that they acquired new talent. Supposedly he's a beast. But, again, I do not know this is to be true, and I have to look it up. I've seen the Israel Adesanya knockout. Supposedly Adesanya was winning the majority of that kickboxing match up until that happened. This was a long while ago. People change, and I feel like sometimes the hype is a little bit crazy just because they beat a now UFC star very early in that UFC star's career. So I'm going to pump the brakes a little bit on the, hype, but I'm happy to see the UFC going out and acquiring new talent. I'm always excited to see that. And if he can build himself up the ranks and he can win some quality fights and beat some names, I think that'd be a hell of a storyline going into an Israel Adesanya title fight. Can you imagine the last guy to knock out Israel Adesanya is fighting Israel Adesanya for the middleweight title 5 years later or however many years later it would be at that time? That'd be an awesome storyline, and I can't say I'm not interested in seeing that. Jonathan Martinez out. I did see that. Joey, how does Aspinall win and what round? I'll go Aspinall first round KO. I really think he's just going to be the faster, more athletic fighter. Spivak's just kind of tough and gritty. I'll be interested to see how it plays out. But if I had to guess, I'd say first round KO, TKO. Guys, I'm surprised this many people are on here on a random Friday night stream. Thank you guys for joining me. I did not anticipate this. Which fights, in your opinion, will be on the main card of UFC 267? That is already announced. I'm pretty sure. But let me pull it up real quick and I'll tell you the exact bout order I think that it will be in if it's not already. So the main event is Jan Blachowicz, Glover Teixeira. Co-main is Aljamain Sterling versus Petr Yan. I think third fight down will be Islam Makhachev versus Rafael Dos Anjos. Fourth fight down, Magomed Ankalaev versus Volkan Ozdemir. And maybe fifth fight down, Khamzat Chimaev versus Li Jingliang. I think the main event of the prelims will be... So I said, okay, the third fight down is Islam Makhachev, Rafael Dos Anjos. Fourth fight down, Alexander Volkov versus Marcin Tybura. Opening of the main card, Li Jingliang versus Khamzat Chimaev. I think the main event of the prelims No. I said Magomed Ankalaev versus Volkan Ozdemir is the fourth fight. So I think the main event of the prelims will be Alexander Volkov versus Marcin Tybura. I think that's what that will be. So there you go. That's the battle where I think it will be in. And that's an amazing fight card. Conor mentioned Masvidal's name once last year by saying stylistic Masvidal is a better fighter than Usman. Yeah, Conor's full of shit. And I don't think he'll ever fight him. Conor puts on this big front like he's super confident and whatnot. He knows, he's smart enough to know what fights he can win and what fights he can't win. And I don't know if he can win a Masvidal fight. I think he could have a decent chance, but Masvidal's so tough. He's bigger. I don't think he's putting him to sleep. Conor's power has not translated to 155, let alone to 170, as nearly as to the touch of death that he had at 145. So I don't think he's putting Masvidal out. Masvidal has better cardio, stamina, grappling. I think Masvidal beats him pretty badly, but the first round would be very, very interesting. I want Dustin versus Nate, Charles versus Dariush. Both fights are better stylistically to me. Dustin and Nate will bang. Charles versus Dariush will be a BJJ masterclass with fire exchanges on the feet. I love them all, but to me, the Charles Oliveira versus Dustin Poirier fight needs to happen. And give me Nate Diaz versus Tony Ferguson. Imagine Conor took the replacement for Khabib for the interim belt against Tony at 249, but he says he isn't a replacement fighter, which I thought was ridiculous because Conor said before the fight, he wanted all the hype. He said, if somebody pulls out at 249, I'm stepping in. And he took all the good publicity out of that. Everyone said, oh, Conor said he'll step in. If someone falls out of 249, Conor said he'll step in. The second the time came for him to actually step in, he said, I don't want none of that. Because he would have got beat up. He would have got beat up by Tony Ferguson, I think. I think he would have been able to hurt Tony on the feet, but I think eventually Tony's gas tank would have destroyed him. I think Tony's gas tank would have, late third, fourth, fifth round, Tony would have worked him over and TKO'd him. That's the fight I would love to see. I'd like to see Tony versus Nate at the end of this year. Winner of that fight fights Conor McGregor upon his return. But he should have took that fight if he wanted to rematch with Khabib so badly, and he had the opportunity to earn it right then and there, and he didn't do it. Aspinall looks fast in training and good snap on his punches. Yep. And the heavyweight division is very shallow. It's just starting to kind of mature into a better division and get some decent talent in there, and he's another interesting name, and he's looking like he's evolving. And again, the division isn't that great, so we'll see where he can go. He's had some decent wins so far throughout his career, and we'll see what he looks like tomorrow. Who did he last fight? I don't even remember. I know it was an impressive win, but I can't remember. Was it Andrei Arlovski? Andrei Arlovski, yep, submission, second round submission. I think he hurt him badly on the feet, but I don't remember all that well. Who do you see winning, Conor or Masvidal? Or do you think it's 50-50? I think Masvidal definitely wins. I think I went over that probably while you were sending that question. But I think Conor, the fight could be interesting in the first round, but I just think Masvidal's not going to get it put out by Conor strikes. I think Masvidal has the better gas tank. I think he's more durable. I think he has better grappling. I think he has better stamina. I think he has better jiu-jitsu. I think he hits harder. I think he's bigger. The first round would be very, very interesting. But I think Masvidal beats him. And I would say I'm confident. I would give you an 80-20. 80-20 there. I'm 80% Masvidal, 20% McGregor. Because Masvidal is a little bit sloppy on the feet. And McGregor is pinpoint precision and has some decent power. But he doesn't have that touch of death at 155 or 170. John Jones, 2022 champion. I want to see John Jones at heavyweight badly, man. I really want to. I hate Conor McGregor with a passion. Oh, man. Well, you're on the right channel because I shit on him, but the shitting on him is all fair criticism. I'm not being out of line with some of the things I say. It's all fair criticism from me. Danny said last year he would never match up Masvidal and McGregor as Masvidal would weigh too much for him. I bet you that pissed McGregor off too. But at the end of the day, if Conor's on his way out, he's going to be looking for as many big fights as possible. And Masvidal is a massive fight right now. Conor versus Masvidal would do huge numbers for the UFC. But the UFC was kind of trying to say, okay, well, do we want one fight out of McGregor? Or do we want 3 or 4 fights out of McGregor? I think McGregor will come back to a hand-picked opponent that he believes that he has a high probability of beating, and the UFC thinks he has a high probability of beating. What's going on, Cedric? Thank you for joining the live stream. I really appreciate it. Why does he act like Tony doesn't exist? I don't know. I'm not sure. Tony's one of my favorite fighters to watch fight. He doesn't get enough respect, in my opinion. I'm glad people ask about him quite a bit. But McGregor fans claim Conor would smoke Ferguson easy. If not, why has Conor dodged the guy for so long? That says a lot. I think the story with Conor versus a lot of guys is the same. He either has to get him out of the first round or he's going to get drowned. I mean, Tony Ferguson's cardio and toughness is literally a nightmare for Conor McGregor. Now, Conor could light him up early in that first round and put him away. But how many guys have we seen that do that to Tony? Nobody, really. Arosa versus Jourdain will be fight of the night tomorrow. We'll see. According to McGregor fans, Conor never dodged Ferguson. I'm sure about that. Yeah, who knows, man. Sometimes the offers aren't there. I'm not going to say 100% he's ducked him. But I think if he wanted that fight bad enough, he could have got it. He shot a blast double leg out of nowhere, grabbed Orlovsky's neck, and instantly tapped. I vaguely remember. I had to go back and check that one out. That's one of my problems. I forget fights because there's so many fights. It's easy to forget them. At Toro Brown, he just didn't duck the Aldo. Yeah, he did duck the Aldo rematch for sure. Guys, keep the questions coming in the chat. Keep the questions coming in the chat. And don't forget to like the stream. Help grow the channel. If you're watching and you're not subscribed, go subscribe right this second. It takes 2 seconds to subscribe. And that way you can participate in the chat. Okay. Conor beating Masvidal does nothing for his legacy. I want to see Conor beat an elite fighter. I don't know if you'll ever see that again, my friend. I don't know if you'll ever see that again. Conor, I mean, I don't know who's he beaten. I don't favor him to beat Nate Diaz. I don't favor him to beat Tony Ferguson. I don't favor him to beat Justin Gaethje. I don't favor him to beat... I give him a little bit better chance at beating Michael Chandler, but I don't think he's going to beat Michael Chandler. Who's he going to beat? Ally Quinta? I don't know. He's not beating Islam Makhachev. He's not beating RDA, in my opinion. So I don't know who Conor beats. Let me know in the chat, guys. If you wanted Conor McGregor to fight and win, who would you match him up right now that wouldn't look like a total joke that you think Conor can beat? I'm genuinely curious. Put your fights in the chat. McGregor dodged Ferguson at UFC 249. Very true. I mean, but who knows if he was being... I think he wanted the clout of saying, I'll step in on short notice and I'll fight anyone if someone pulls out. And then he didn't want none of that. McGregor is out for the next 9 months. Let's talk about him then. I wonder when he'll return. He's been hyping it up like he's so damn good, or he's recovering so damn fast. I'm curious. I'm very, very curious when he does return. Let me see something real quick, guys. I tried to test something out before. Let's see. Does that work? I don't know. Let me see. Oh, hold on a second, guys. Let me turn my phone on silent. I hate when my phone goes off while we're doing this. I think I figured out how to add a subscribe animation. Let's see if it actually works. Look at that, guys. If you're not subscribed, go subscribe and turn on notifications. I figured out how to turn that on. That's pretty cool. I'm still learning a lot with this stream and stuff. Early prediction for Nick Diaz versus Robbie 2. I really have no idea what's going to happen in that fight, but I think Robbie Lawler wins just purely based on the fact that he's been active while Nick Diaz has been sitting out partying. But I doubt Nick Diaz is coming back if he's not in shape. I really do. So I'm very interested to see that fight. It's two old guys. It's a rematch 17 years in the making, but I'm going Robbie Lawler. Conor versus Lawler. Lawler is gun shy. I think Lawler beats the brakes off of Conor, even in his shell of himself. He's too big, too strong, and if he doesn't have to worry about the takedown, I think he would mess him up. Dan Hooker. Okay, he had Dan Hooker, but still, even Dan Hooker, I'm not super confident that Conor will win that fight. I think he'd probably beat Dan Hooker, but I'm not super confident in that one. Conor can beat. That's funny. Conor would beat RDA, Ferguson, Diaz. I don't favor Conor over any of those guys. I think Diaz beat him in the second fight. Obviously, Diaz beat him in the first fight. If I had to pick one of those three, who was he most likely to beat would be Tony Ferguson, probably. Just because of what happened in the Gaethje fight. Ferguson's on a downslope. But the iron chin of Tony Ferguson plus the unlimited stamina is a bad combination for Conor. So if I was Conor McGregor and I had to pick either RDA, Ferguson, or Diaz, I'm picking Ferguson. They should do McGregor versus Ferguson April, May of 2022, but Ferguson might want to fight before that. Yeah, I think Ferguson's going to want to fight before that. He has a good chance against Beneil. I think Beneil probably drags him down. But maybe that'd be a decent fight for him and a respectable name too. But it wouldn't sell very much. People will respect Conor with his trash resume with only like 2 notable wins. Like he's a world beater. Conor only wins when his opponent lets him. Once you bring the fight to him, he melts. Yeah, dude, I've talked about it in depth. I'm not too high on his resume. The Aldo win was great. The Eddie Alvarez win was great. But other than that, I don't see anything. I'm not impressed by any of it. Uh, Conor versus Ferguson at 170. I would love that. I want to see Nate versus Tony Ferguson at 170. November, December this year, winner of that fight fights Conor in his return. How do you guys like that? We're talking about Conor an awful lot tonight, guys. Toot, 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 toot. Okay, let's see. Let's see. Do you think Giga Chikadze can beat Volk, Ortega, or Max? To be honest, after his performance against Edson Barboza, I think he can beat anyone in the division. Uh, I don't know if he beat Max or Volk, but I think he would beat Ortega, depending on his takedown defense. I feel like we haven't seen his takedown defense tested enough, but I think on the feet, Giga really dices up Brian Ortega. And I think he has a salvageable chance against Max Holloway and Volkanovski. I said before the fight, I picked Edson Barboza. I said, but if Giga Chikadze beats Edson Barboza, I am all aboard the hype train. And he not only beat Edson Barboza, he beat him in a dominant fashion, and he looked amazing throughout the fight. He faced a little bit of adversity. Edson was chewing up the lead leg. Uh, and he looked fluid in there. His striking looked great, and we know how good Edson Barboza's striking is. I mean, look what he's done to Dan Hooker. He's done to plenty of guys in the division, respectable names. So I'm all aboard the Giga Chikadze train. I wasn't before, but I am now. Tony by Dr. Stoppage cuts to Nate's face. Wouldn't surprise me, honestly. There's 500 other fighters we can talk about. Very true, Ginge. Send some of those questions in, man. What fighters you want to talk about? Do you think Izzy will ever go back up? No, I don't think he will. I think he kind of. I don't want to hate on him because Jan Blachowicz is not an easy fight, but he cherry picked. He said, you know what? Jan Blachowicz is the champion. There's never going to be an easier stylistic matchup than Jan Blachowicz as champion at light heavyweight. Let me go see if I can get that double champ status right now, and let me get out of there because the future of the division is not looking good as far as Adesanya's chances against Yuri Prohaska, Alexander Rakic. I don't like Izzy's chances against either of those guys. I really don't. So I don't think he ever goes back up. I think that was his one and done. I think that was his cherry picking chance to beat Jan Blachowicz, get the belt, and get out of there. What about Max Holloway versus Giga? I think Giga can win that fight. I think his striking is very crisp, but Max Holloway's stamina is just unlimited. I'd love to see it. And if Giga Chikadze can put away Max Holloway, what a win that would be. What an absolute amazing win that would be. And I'd love to see that fight. Unfortunately, we have Yara Rodriguez versus Max Holloway. To be honest, as much as I love Max Holloway versus Yara Rodriguez, what interests me the most right now, I'd love to see Max Holloway versus Giga Chikadze. Winner gets fights for the title. Forget Yair. Yair hasn't fought anyone. I honestly believe Giga should be ranked higher because Edson Barboza is better than anyone Yair's ever beat, in my opinion. But Max Holloway is so good. Volkanovski's so good. They're the only two in the division that I think I'd pick Giga to beat anyone in the division other than Max and Volk currently. Who would have known Giga was faster than Edson? I know, it was crazy. The way he was getting out, in and out, his movement, his switching of stances, his ability to absorb the leg kicks even though they were really damaging him. He was able to adjust. How do you think Paddy Pimblett will do tomorrow? I don't know too much about Luigi, whatever his name is, but my guess is Paddy Pimblett, the UFC's matching him up with a winnable matchup in his first fight. He's looked good in his past few fights. I haven't seen a lot of him, but his submission skills look very, very good. His striking looks pretty good. And I think the UFC is trying to build a star. He already has a lot of fans. And I think he'll probably win tomorrow. I don't know how he'll win. Maybe by submission. I'm not really sure. I haven't watched a lot of his fights. I gotta like sign up for Fight Pass or something and watch a lot of his previous fights. But my guess is that's the fight. I want Sean O'Malley versus Adriano Yanez. That's a fight I suggested in the past. But to be honest, I just want to see Sean O'Malley fight a ranked fighter at this point in time. Bantamweight is so good. Sean O'Malley, so much talk. Let him fight a ranked fighter now. You're crazy to pick Giga over Max. I didn't pick Giga over Max, my friend. I hope Max goes back to 155. I think he will eventually. And I think he needs to build himself to 155 rather than going, there on a last-second whim. Max versus Justin will be fire. I don't like Max chances versus Justin, but it would be crazy. Rank 266, 267, 268, and 269. By which one looks more stacked? UFC 268 is the best. Without a doubt, UFC 268 is the best. UFC 269 doesn't have a lot official yet. So that one's hard to rank right now. So I'm gonna exclude 269 because it's only got one official fight so far as I know. 267 and 266 are very comparable. Do I like to? I think I'll rank 268, then 267, then 266. If 269 is what we think it's going to be as far as Dustin Poirier versus Charles Oliveira, then also Brandon Moreno versus Alexander Pantoja, and then maybe we get Nate Diaz versus Vicente Luque or Tony Ferguson. I say it's UFC 268 still the best, then UFC 269, then 267, then 266. But they're all great pay-per-views. I don't think you can go wrong with any of them. I think Holloway beats Giga. I think it's a good fight. I think it's a competitive fight. I would love to see it. Usman beats Izzy. I'm not sure just because of the size, but I'd like to see it, but it's never going to happen. Zabit versus Giga, I want to see. Yes, but Zabit's been out for so long. We don't ever know when he's going to return. You guys better watch Jake Shore. He's like 15-0. He's good and only getting better. Yeah, I know who he is. Hasn't he fought in the UFC before already? I think I've seen him fight before. I'm pretty sure, but I'm not 100% sure here. I forget. That's one thing that's really hard about keeping a YouTube channel. And it's talking about MMA. You forget a lot of guys. It's easy to forget them in the last few fights. Yeah, he fought April 10th. I think I remember that fight, but I'm not 100% sure how it went. Let's see what we got here. Alex Perez versus Andreas. Alex Perez versus Andreas. When is that? Alex, let me look that up. See, you guys are telling me about a lot. Sometimes I forget. Andreas. Who is Andreas is the real question. You mean Askarov? I know that fight was originally scheduled. Maybe I'm missing something here. You guys, okay, I already read that. My number one fighter for 175 is Shavkat Rakhmonov. Yeah, he looks promising. We will see, though. We will see. Alex Perez just fine with the UFC. He's only won the KO. Is he? Yeah, we actually talked about that a little bit already. But I'm excited. I'm happy the UFC's acquiring new talent. And if he can make his way up the ladder at middleweight, that would be an amazing storyline against another Izzy fight, being the guy that knocked him out. Vicente Luque would kill Diaz with leg kicks. I agree, and would probably KO him. I don't know if he'd KO him, but I think he'd probably finish him. Finally caught you live, Joey. Best MMA channel, in my opinion. Thank you, Sif Master. Thank you, my friend. If you love the channel, you can now become a member, too. The link is in the description. And you can get these bad boys. Hold on, let me put it in the chat. Let me see if I can put it all in the chat right now for you. You can get those, and there's more coming soon. Look at that sleepy Conor McGregor. If you guys don't want that, I don't know what you want then. And I'm getting more too. I'm getting a Joshua Fabia one tomorrow. I paid a guy to make me more emojis for the channel. But thank you for stopping by the stream. What's the point of tough if losers get a fight or two within the UFC anyway? Very true, man. Very true. And also, what sucks about the Ultimate Fighter is a lot of times you have injuries, and the guys who are the finalists don't even fight. So it kind of ruins the show for the people who were invested in it. You want to see the two finalists face off, and if they don't face off, what's the point? So I get your point. I think the point is more to build a guy via exposure on the show. You get to know them, you get to become fans of them. I haven't watched in years, to be honest. I have not watched The Ultimate Fighter in full in years. I really wanted to watch this year's, but I just didn't have the time. What's the point of tough when we have Contender Series? I think it's a matter of building names. It's a matter of getting your name on TV, building a fan base before you even enter the UFC. I think that's really the point. By the way, guys, I think I'm going to begin streaming all the Contender Series fights on Tuesday. I'm really making an effort to try to grow the channel. I want to hit 10,000 subscribers before the end of the year. I don't know if that's going to happen. Right now, I like to tell you guys in the live streams, right now, I am at 1,162 subscribers. So we'll see if we can get that other, 8,000, 8,800 before the end of the year. I don't know if it's possible or not, but I hope it is. And I'm going to try. I'm going to do my best to keep covering the relevant topics, giving you guys as much content as possible. And there we go. So, sleepy Conor McGregor emojis. What's going on? I am the Defense. Thanks for stopping by the live stream. This was a random Friday live stream, and I'm surprised how many people joined. I didn't know if anyone would join since it was so random. What's Vicente is just as tough as Nate, but way more technical than Nate. If anyone is drowning Nate, it's Vicente. Kevin Lee announced his retirement from MMA. Are you serious? Are you just trolling? Somebody tell me if that's real or not. No, he's calling out people, dude. You're making up stuff. He's calling out people right now. Yeah, and so anyway, we're going to try to hit 10,000 subs before the end of the year. So if you're watching this live stream and you're not subscribed, make sure you subscribe. Look at that. I'm learning more. I'm growing. I'm improving, guys. So there we go. I got that. Was able to put that up. Are you going live for the fight tomorrow? Maybe. I have to do something tomorrow, and I don't know. I don't know what time I'm going to be back, but I'm going to try to live stream the main card. I will schedule it a couple hours beforehand if I am. Really, yeah, just try. Come on, man. Bit pointless. Do you have a fight clock for the live stream? What do you mean, for the fights? Is that what you're asking, Ginge? Do I have a clock for the fights? Yes, I do. I'll even show you it here in a second. Look, this is what I got for the live stream. Look, boom. Like, you like that? When I do the fights, there you go. But what's annoying is I can't adjust it. I don't know how to adjust it. So when there's like a stop in action, an eye poke, groin shot, whatever, it just messes up the whole clock. So I just got to turn it off. But yeah, I'm trying to learn all the different live stream stuff. I got the banner down below, which helps me out on the live stream, tells you guys some important information. I got the clock ready. I also, in my last fight live stream, at the beginning of the fight, I put a picture up of the two fighters who are about to fight. So if anyone watches the replay and wants to find like reactions to certain fights, they can find them by that picture. I put it up for about 30 seconds or a minute before the fight. Let's go. Lee called out Kevin Holland. Yeah, I bet you he wants that fight. Does Kevin Holland even fight at welterweight? No, he fights at middleweight. But yeah, I'm figuring stuff out. I'm the Defense. I'm really figuring it out. It's tough. But I'm figuring it out. Yeah, exactly. I agree, Ginge. 17 people in the chat, but only 10 likes. What is going on, guys? What is going on? like the stream right this second. Greatly appreciate it. Jambi, thank you so much for the $5 Canadian, I believe that is. I greatly appreciate it. I will keep it up. You are the man. I appreciate every penny sent in here. It means a lot to me. What else can I say? Thank you so much. I will remember. I plan on growing this channel. I don't know if it'll take 4 or 5 years, however many long. I plan on growing this channel. I want to hit over 100,000 subscribers eventually. I don't know how long it'll take, but I plan on doing it, and I will remember all the people who were supporting in these early live streams. These streams will still be on the channel, and I can look back and watch the chat replay and say, you know what? When I only had 1,000 subscribers, Jambi was sending me five Canadian dollars. So appreciate you so much. What else can I say? But thank you. It really means a lot to me that you like the channel enough that you're willing to support it by sending a donation. My birthday's October 2nd. That card is pretty fun. Fight night. What is on October 2nd? I can't even remember at this point. Didn't they just announce some fights for that? By the way, 2nd UFC. Thiago Santos, Johnny Walker. I like that main event, but I don't feel like... I hate to break... I just wish it was better for you. I wish it was a better card. It's not the greatest. By the way, guys, not that I'm getting off right this second or anything, but let's see. What did I want to... Okay. Rafael Fiziev versus Brad Riddell. How excited are you guys for that fight? That's great matchmaking from the UFC. I love it. Fiziev's coming off the Bobby Green fight. Riddell's coming off that great win. Let me see real quick. But it's just great. That's just great matchmaking. I mean, I love that fight. Two very interesting prospects. Brad Riddell's coming off that win over Drew Dober. And that was a quality win. It was a fight of the night. It was a great back and forth fight. And it was absolutely amazing. Let's see. Ally Quinta versus Bobby Green should be a good fight. I agree. Bobby Green sometimes comes out looking like a world beater, other times not. How far away are you from the new mic? That I do not know. So, let me take a look real quick. I can actually tell you. Let's see. I can tell you how much that I've received in donations since I started this channel. I'll really give you guys an honest thing. So, I don't know. Okay. So, I have received, guys, you ready for this? You guys ready? Well, I mean, I don't know if a lot of YouTubers do this, but I'm going to do this for you guys right now. Pitties and STI, I have received $170 in donations from the Super Chat so far throughout my channel. So, I really don't know. To be honest, I'm not tracking it too much. The setup for my mic is roughly, I think it's $800 for everything I need. But honestly, I'm probably going to buy it long before I get to hit $800 on the channel. So I haven't really been keeping track of the money exactly. What I have, the way I set it up is I opened another bank account specifically for YouTube. And YouTube direct deposits once a month, whether it's donations, memberships, super chats, it donates, it deposits that all direct deposit. And I just set up one bank account, and I can, you can give a nickname to a bank account. I just named it YouTube. And right now I'm just having it be direct deposit right in there, and I haven't touched none of it yet. All of it's going right back into the channel. All I care about is making this the best possible channel. Whether it's buying new mics. I'm actually thinking about buying a new desk soon and rearranging this a little bit and hanging some of my memorabilia behind me. I really want to grow this channel and make it the best MMA channel possible. So, but thank you for asking, my friend. It will be here eventually. I've thought about it, and I've considered buying it time after time after time. I want that crisp, Shure SM7B audio quality. Everybody has that mic, and it just sounds so damn good. And I think, I'll tell you this, regardless if I get $800 in donations by the end of the year or whatever it may be or not be, I will have that mic before the end of the year. It's just a goal that I really want it. But every donation is basically going right towards that anyway. I didn't know Antonio Carlos Jr. went to PFL. Yes, he did. He fought recently. I did a live stream for him. Diego Ferreira versus Grant Dawson is fire. Diego Ferreira is very good. I think he recently lost to Gregor Gillespie, but he has great jiu-jitsu. He's been around for a while. I think that should be a good fight. I don't know when it's happening. I don't think either guy's ever going to fight for a title, but it should be a fun fight. That fight is exciting for sure. I'm not sure what we're talking about. Worst matchup they could have gave Fiziev is Riddell. He's a dog in 3 rounds. Yeah, let me get back to that. I started reading through the thing. Fiziev versus Riddell is going to be tough because Fiziev, as good as he's looked, he starts to fade. He faded and lost that 3rd round against Bobby Green. And Riddell is durable. He has good stamina, and he can take on, maybe get a finish in that late round. I love it because both guys are very highly touted prospects, and I'm interested to see if Fiziev is adjusts his training to make up for his cardio issue. There's no reason you should be losing the 3rd round to Bobby Green. But great matchmaking by the UFC. When is that fight? Let me look that up real quick. December 4th. December 4th, Rafael Fiziev versus Brad Riddell. I favor Fiziev, but I really don't know. I mean, he could lose in the later round. And the first round of the Fiziev fight was close too. How much is it for just the microphone alone? Let me tell you right now. I think it's $500, but it might be $400. But you need everything else to buy it. I have everything actually on a wish list. It's $400 just for the microphone alone. But you need a cloud lifter, which is like $150, and you need an audio interface, which is, I want to say $200, something like that. And then you need, I'm not sure if they come with it or not, but you need a bunch of XLR cables. And then you also, I want a boom stand. You have to buy separately as well. So it's pretty expensive. I have everything on my wish list right now. I want to buy it badly, but it's not absolutely necessary right now. So I'm kind of just waiting and letting the donations come in, the memberships come in, and I'm going to have it eventually. It's not like I'm, let's see, YouTube stuff. So the mic itself is $400. The audio interface is $120. The boom stand is $110, and the cloud lifter is $160 with a couple cables. So I think that's all the cables I need. So you add all that up. Let me tell you exactly how much it is right now. I added it all to my cart. Ginge. Let's see. To get my microphone. Ooh, what else do I have in my cart? There's no way it's that much. That hurts. If it's that much, I'm going to cry. No, okay, no, I did have something else in my cart. It was like over $1,000. I had something else in my cart. So total with tax in my state, it is $836. Basically, it's $835 and change for everything that I need to get that mic set up. I'm actually thinking about buying a different desk soon and then rearranging my office to really look great. In the UK, they are $300, which is $415. I actually have, there's a website called Camel, where you can set up like price notifications, and I have it on there to let me know if there is a price drop on Amazon online. And also, I have an Amazon store card, so I get 5% back on anything I buy on Amazon store card. What's up with Bryce Mitchell? He can't get booked. I have no idea. I was actually there in D.C. when he got that twister. If you guys remember that twister. I feel Bobby Green won that first round. Yeah, the first round was close. I thought Fiziev won, but it was a close first round for sure. Closer than it should have been. No way Bobby Green won. You can argue a draw, but 30-27 is ridiculous. 30-27, that referee was smoking crack. That referee was really smoking crack, guys. Let me exit all this out of my cart. Come on. Delete. Okay, all that deleted out of there. Guys, keep filling the chat with questions. I'll be back in a second to take a look. Okay. Who if I do make it home in time, at least the main card tomorrow, who's gonna join me live for the fights tomorrow live if I stream the main card tomorrow? One thing about Bobby, in most of his fights, he makes good guys look human, so we don't know. Yeah, Bobby Green sometimes looks like an absolute world beater. And then other times he looks like trash. It's weird. I mean, a lot of people thought Fiziev was going to run over Bobby Green. It was a lot closer than people anticipated. God, my nose is itching from talking so much. My mustache hairs is tickling my nose. There was another fight that was announced that I want to talk about. Let me look this up real quick. Michael Kiesa versus Sean Brady should be a lot of fun too. Michael Kiesa coming off that loss to Vicente Luque in the first round. Sean Brady was supposed to fight Kevin Lee. He pulled out of the fight. I guess this fight's far enough out where he can recover and still have a training camp. But I'm really interested in that fight. That's a good fight for Sean Brady to make his way right up the rankings. He beats Michael Kiesa. That's going to be a big win for him. Michael Kiesa is like ranked number 7 or 8 or something like that right now. What a big win that would be for Sean Brady. But also, you look at Michael Kiesa, and Michael Kiesa, let me pull him up real quick. Michael Kiesa, with coming off the loss to Vicente Luque, then before that, a win over Neil Magny, before that, a win over Rafael Dos Anjos, a win over Diego Sanchez, and a win over Carlos Condit. If he loses to Sean Brady, he's going to find himself being close to being out of the rankings. He's going to fall steeply. He's going to be on a 2-fight skid. I don't know if he ever makes his way back to a title. Not that he's ever been there for a title. But if he loses to Sean Brady, he's going to take a steep tumble. That's a risky fight for Kiesa. Fighting a guy who's like ranked number 13 or 14, something like that. Let me pull up the UFC rankings. Sean Brady's currently ranked number 13. Michael Kiesa is currently ranked number 7. That's a great fight for. I bet you Sean Brady's happy he pulled out of that Kevin Lee fight. Because think about it. He's fighting Kevin Lee. Kevin Lee's unranked. Kevin Lee's just making his move to welterweight. Kevin Lee loses. Everyone's writing off Kevin Lee. Now he gets a big fight in Michael Kiesa, who's ranked number 7. That's amazing. That's literally amazing fight for him. That's much better than Kevin Lee. Imagine what a win does for Sean Brady if he beats Michael Kiesa. That's a massive win. I am the defense must win for Kiesa. Agreed 100%. Joey, is there anything Olives or Dustin can do to take Khabib's spot for the lightweight GOAT? Keep defending. They got to keep defending. If Charles Oliveira can beat Dustin, beat Gaethje, beat Islam, I think if he wins those 3 fights, I think he takes Khabib's spot. Imagine he beats Dustin, then Gaethje beats Chandler, Gaethje gets the next title shot, he beats Gaethje, Islam beats RDA and fights one more time, and then Islam gets a title shot after 2 more wins, and then he beats Islam. I think Charles Oliveira takes the spot. He would be on a massive win streak. He will have defended the belt more times than Khabib, if my memory is correct. Defended against Conor, Dustin, and then Gaethje. So Charles would have defended against Dustin. One more fight after that, he would have matched Khabib's title defenses, and he'd be on a massive streak. Kiesa has a cozy job waiting for him with the UFC after he retires. Agreed. He is a great analyst. He's a great commentator. I don't know if he's been an actual commentator of a fight, but when he's on the shows, he sounds good. He's a good talker. Dustin will beat him. I'm not so sure of that, my friend. I think I'm taking Charles Oliveira. I'm taking Charlie Olives. I think that nickname's going to stick with him for the rest of his life. Charlie Olives. As much as I like Islam, he doesn't give Khabib space and cardio, and I don't think he gets as far as Khabib did. I also his striking looks terrible. I know he's knocked out guys, but Islam's striking looks terrible. He has nowhere near the pace of Khabib. He has nowhere near the cardio of Khabib. We'll see if he can grow into that. But I'm tired of guys getting too much shine just because they train with XYZ. I'm tired of that. Dustin would beat Islam. I agree. I think Dustin would beat Islam. Oh. Hold on. Oh, that's hilarious. Nate Diaz tweeted out that meme. It's like The Simpsons, and it's like two girls like dancing in like bikinis and stuff, and it's a guy covering his eyes, and it shows Khabib, Brittany Palmer, and then Ariana Celeste, and he tweeted that out. That's pretty funny because Khabib said the thing about the ring girls. Levels. Dustin will be the champ. We will see, Adam. We will see. Only a couple months away, which is crazy. It's almost December of 2021. What the hell? Where's the time going? If Charles does all the things you said, I bet Khabib comes back for Khabib versus Oliveira. I don't know. I think Khabib could come back eventually, but he seems, he would have to have a massive change of heart. But I think there's a chance he comes back in a couple years, like maybe 2 years. I think there's a chance he comes back, but right now I don't see him coming back. I don't see Dustin pressuring Olives. Olives never backs up unless you pressure him, so we'll see. I'm very intrigued because I said it earlier in this chat. If Dustin hurts Charlie Olives like Michael Chandler did, Dustin does not give up. He keeps pressuring. He looks for the finish. He does not take the foot off the gas. Once he hurts you, he goes after you and he does not stop until the referee pulls him off or the bell sounds for the end of the round. And he's shown it time and time again when he hurts guys. And I wonder if Oliveira will fold under that. I think it's as close to a 50-50 fight as you get, but I'm picking Charles Oliveira. I've been a massive Charles Oliveira believer for a while. He makes improvements. He comes out. He makes adjustments. And I love seeing that in a fighter, and I love his base skill of his amazing jiu-jitsu, his submission game. I feel like he can and will probably take Dustin Poirier down. And if he gets Dustin down, I don't know if Dustin's going to be able to defend. Oliveira has slick submissions. But I could also see an event because sometimes guys who are so good at jiu-jitsu like that, they leave their self open for shots. And, imagine he's rolling for a leg or something like that, leaving himself open. I could see Dustin taking advantage of him getting like a ground and pound KO or something like that as well. But I think Oliveira wins the fight. Amazing time to be a UFC fan. It's a great time. It's a great time to be a UFC fan. I couldn't pick a better time. If Dustin wins, Connor's one fight from a title. Oh, God, dude. If Dustin wins, they may give Connor an immediate title shot. I hate to say that. I would be disgusted. But I think there's a chance you could see that. You could genuinely see that, my friend. That'd be disgusting, wouldn't it? Oh, my goodness. Ugh. Dustin versus Connor 4 for the lightweight championship. I don't want that at all. I don't want that at all, my friend. The UFC would pull some shit like that too, and I'd be disgusted. I don't even think I ordered that pay-per-view. I'd be that pissed off about it. Guys, keep filling up the chat with questions. Keep filling up the chat with questions. Depending on how many questions there is, I'll keep the live chat going. If not, we'll end it here in a few minutes. I appreciate you guys all joining me tonight. Don't forget to like the stream. Thank you, Jambi, for the super chat donation. Thank you, Ginge, for the super chat donation earlier. I greatly appreciate you guys still very much. It means a lot to me. Means a lot to me. What else is there to talk about? Let's see. Usually I type a description about some of the current events. I want to make sure we talked about it. We talked about Fiziev versus Brad Riddell. We talked about Oliveira versus Poirier. We talked about Darren Till versus Derek Brunson tomorrow afternoon. I think the main card comes on 4 p.m. Eastern time for me tomorrow. So who's going to join me if I do stream the fights tomorrow? Who's going to join me for the live stream for the fight card tomorrow? Let me know in the chat. What's going on, Baz94? Thank you for stopping by the live stream. I appreciate you, my friend. Appreciate you very much. Let's see. I'm going to look up all the start times for tomorrow. Okay, so for me, it's a 4 p.m. main card start time, and it's a 1:30 p.m. prelim start time. Maybe they changed that because of the Jonathan Martinez, so maybe a 2 p.m. I really would like to see all the prelims. I'm going to try to make it back for the prelims, but I don't know if I'll be streaming for the prelims. The next fight card is just atrocious, guys. Anthony Smith versus Ryan Spann, and they don't even have the rest of the card filled out. What the hell? It's so long. It seems like it's so long till the next pay-per-view, guys. It's only the 3rd. We have 3 more weeks from tomorrow until we get UFC 266, which is crazy. Okay. I'll probably stop by. Awesome. Marshall said I'll join. Awesome. I'll be there for sure. Awesome. I'll try to at least do the main card. It'll be 4 p.m. Eastern time. So whatever time that is for you, you can do the math. What's the bigger upset? Dos Anjos beating Islam or Lee beating Hamzat? I say Lee beating Hamzat. I think Dos Anjos beating Islam, I think, can very much happen. Might even watch the prelims. I want to watch the prelims. It's just a matter I have a lot of stuff to do tomorrow. And I'm hoping, to be honest, I really want to eventually, because a lot of the times, I feel like one thing is missing those prelims, and a lot of people are asking you, what do you think of this fight? And you miss the prelims, you don't know. And it really aggravates me that I don't know. And I really am going to try to make an effort to watch every single fight soon. I used to do it, but it just seems sometimes it's a timing thing. When you have a lot of stuff to do on the weekends, it just can be, watching 7 hours of fights is crazy. But I am the defense. I'm excited to talk to you tomorrow. I doubt I'll be joining as I'll be 1,000% engrossed with all the UK lot on. What exactly does that mean? UK lot on. Yeah, sometimes the early fights are brilliant, and that's why I love watching them, but it's just a timing thing. We need a what's next for Tony Ferguson, please. I'm a big fan of Tony and a big fan of all your videos. Okay, I'll do it. I will do it, my friend. I promise. Anthony Smith headliners are always boring. I'll never forget Glover Teixeira just beating the living crap out of him. That was nasty. Oh, yeah, completely forgot about Chimaev fighting soon. Yeah, UFC 266 or 267 is great. We already went over it a little bit. I think that's going to be a great fight. I really wanted to see that Leon Edwards fight. UFC 266 is pretty good too. We got Alexander Volkanovski versus Brian Ortega, Valentina Shevchenko versus Lauren Murphy. That's all I got to say about that. Nick Diaz versus Robbie Lawler, which should be very, very interesting. Two old guys, a rematch 17 years in the making. Curtis Blades versus Jairzinho Rosenstrike. Jessica Andrade versus Cynthia Calvillo. The prelim main event, Marlon Moraes versus Merab Davishvili. Dan Hooker versus Nazarat Hapark Rast, however you pronounce his last name. Shamil Amador versus Chris Dawkins. All great fights. The prelims on 266 are filthy. I'll be watching all the prelims on 266. I mean, how can you not love Marlon Moraes versus Merab Davishvili? Sometimes the early fights are brilliant. Yep, there's 6 UK fighters on. Any news on Zabit surgery? Did Ali say anything? Haven't seen anything on that. Zabit is unofficial. Zabit. Stop. Is unofficially retired. You gonna be nuts and go in the cage against Valentina? You got to be nuts to go in. Yeah, Lauren Murphy's gonna get destroyed. I hope Zabit I hope Sabit eventually returns, man. I really want to see him back in the cage. He's looked so good. And I want to see him in a 5-round fight. And then I want to see him potentially challenging for a title. Zabit versus Giga would be awesome too. But I don't know if Zabit's going to want that fight after being out for so long. I don't know if that would be, conducive to his career, really. Let's see. But guys, who do you guys picking in that Marlon Moraes versus Merab Davishvili? Who are you guys picking in that fight? Because that's a great fight for Merab. Marlon's on a downslope. Let's see. Seeing if there's any news. Vitor Belfort versus Evander Holyfield shifts to Florida. Jonathan Martinez off. Randy Costa versus Tony Kelly added to UFC 269. Let's see. Oscar De La Hoya. Shane Burgos versus Billy Q is a great fight for 268. 268, guys, is going to be so amazing. I cannot wait for UFC 268. That's one of the best cards I've ever seen. I want to go to that card, honestly. What do you think if Yair versus Cub Swanson? Do you like that fight? No, I hate that fight. Cub Swanson's on his way out. Yair's fighting Max Holloway soon. I have no desire to see Cub fight any elite competition anymore. I think he gets destroyed by all the top guys. Apparently, Whaley Zhang is training in the U.S. before the rematch with 268. Let me pull this up. This is the last thing I'll bring up because this card is just amazing, guys. I know we talked about it in nauseum, but we have Kamar Usman versus Colby Covington 2. Rose Namajunas versus Whaley Zhang 2. Justin Gaethje versus Michael Chandler. Sean Strickland versus Luke Rockhold. Frankie Edgar versus Marlon Vera. Edmund Shabazian versus Imanov. Durandamine versus Aldana. Ali Quinta versus Bobby Green. Shane Burgos versus Billy Q. Andreas Michaelias versus Alex Pereira, or whatever the hell his name is, who knocked out Israel Adesanya. I mean, does UFC 268, can they get any more relevant? Melsik Baghastadarian, whatever his name is, versus TJ Laramie. Probably the least interesting fight on the card. Every fight is important in every division. I cannot wait for this fight card. This should be amazing. 268 is the best fight card on paper. Where's the UFC closest UFC normally come to you? New York? New York for pay-per-views, but they occasionally come to Washington, D.C. I went to Alistair Overeem versus Jairzinho Rosenstrike. But, yeah, pretty much. They've come to Baltimore one other time. But mainly New York is the best place to go anywhere close to me. I went to John Jones versus Glover Teixeira, which was in Maryland, in Baltimore, Maryland. So stoked for the Aldana fight. That's a great fight for her, too, and she looked impressive in her last fight. Gaethje versus Chandler is going to be fight of the year. Gaethje versus Chandler may be my favorite fight on the whole card. That fight should be absolutely incredible. It really should. But UFC 268 is so good. I wonder how much tickets are going to be. Plus, there's traveling. I usually get when I went there before, I got a hotel and everything. It's just too expensive. You got to buy a hotel. You got to travel there. You got to buy the tickets. And I don't want to just stay for one day. I want to stay for like 2 days at least. I don't want to wake up the next day and drive home or take a bus home or whatever. So, I probably won't go, but I'd love to go. I want to go to a fight in Vegas too. I really want to go to a fight in Vegas. Well, guys, it looks like that does it for the live stream for tonight. It looks like you guys are all out of questions. Do me a favor, guys, if you haven't already, like the live stream. Become a member of the channel. That's the best way to support the channel. You can become a member. The link is in the description. If you guys have any last-minute questions, put them in the chat. I'm going to go for maybe another 5 minutes or so. But guys, thank you for joining me on this random Friday live stream. If anybody's watching this and they're not subscribed, go subscribe. And I think that's pretty much it. If you want to buy a shirt to support the channel as well, there's a link in the description for that as well. I'd love to go to an international fight week in Vegas. I really want to go to John Jones versus Francis Ngannou if it happens. I think I'd have to go, but I don't know if I would because everything going on just seems like a pain in the ass. But that's the fight I really want to go see live. I think that'd be incredible. What's going on, Edson Jr.? Thanks for stopping by. We're almost ready to end the live stream, but if you have any last-minute questions, I'm going to stay on here for a few more minutes. Do you want to see John Jones try 180? What does that mean? He's never going to 180. It's not even a weight class. Okay. Ginge, have you ever been to an event outside the UK or no? I know there's a couple supporters of the channel who live in Abu Dhabi who might go to UFC 267. He's never going to middleweight, my friend. He is never going to middleweight ever. Ever, ever, ever. That's never happened in Baz. Sorry. Okay, looks like I'm exiting out all this. These tabs that I done opened just in the UK. Yeah, I've been to 3 events. I went to John Jones versus Glover Teixeira. I went to Masvidal versus Nate Diaz. And I went to Alistair Overeem versus Jairzinho Rosenstruck. Or Strike. 185 middleweight. Exactly. Yeah, 185 is middleweight. But he's never going to middleweight anyway. That's never going to happen with John Jones. I doubt he even ever goes back to 205. But I think that's still a possibility. Do you want to see Usman fight the Reaper? I wouldn't mind seeing it if Whitaker can win back the belt. I wouldn't mind seeing that. I think that'd be a fun fight. I like Usman's style, and he's very dominant. So when you have a dominant champion, you're always interested to see them move up. But that's so many variables. Usman has to beat Colby. Whitaker has to beat Adesanya, which I don't think is super likely. I think it's possible, but I don't think it's I don't like his chances as much as I like Usman's chances to win. But I'd love to see that matchup. I'd love to see how it played out, but I don't know if we'll ever get it. Usman versus Khamzat. I'd love to see it eventually. If Khamzat can go on a nice little streak, I'd love to see that fight. I think that'd be a great fight. I mean, Khamzat's looking great on the feet, but he hasn't really fought too many people yet. That great knockout of Gerald Meerschaert, his grappling and wrestling and top game all look super impressive. His ground and pound, his jiu-jitsu, his submissions. But we have to see it as sustainability against top competition. We'll find that out in the next year or so, and then hopefully we get to see him fight Usman. Do you want to see Darren Till versus Leon Edwards fight that beef was real? Oh, I'm not sure. I'm not sure that I know what you're talking about. Are you talking about Leon Edwards, Jorge Masvidal? I'm not sure on that one. I don't remember there being a beef between those two guys. But, all right, guys, I should be streaming tomorrow at 4 p.m. Eastern Time for the Darren Till, Derek Brunson fight. Don't forget to like the stream. I don't sleep, I just stream. If you guys know this reference, this is from True Detective Season 1, one of the best shows that ever existed. Matthew McConaughey's character says that. Russ Cole. Great, great show. If you have not seen True Detective Season 1, it is one of my top 2 favorite shows. But, okay, guys, tomorrow, 4 p.m. Eastern for the live stream for Darren Till, Derek Brunson. Don't forget to like the stream. Become a member of the channel with the link below. It is only a couple bucks to support the channel. I appreciate it. If you're watching this and you're not subscribed, go subscribe. Thank you guys for all joining me and submitting the questions. It's been fun. I will talk to you guys tomorrow afternoon or night or whatever time it is where you're at. Thank you so much for coming to the stream, and have a good rest of the night.